We got some more insight on those Frankie kids before they were saved. Let's take a look, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, The Pascal Show, one word. Hit that like button down below, and let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you crush that follow button over there as well. It'd be great to have you a part of The Pascal Show family. Anyway, we got to get into this story. Now, you already know we've been covering this whole situation about the YouTuber mom, Ruby Frankie. She's been arrested with her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt. We already know about all that stuff. But now we're getting some more information like, let's be real. The husband has recently been seen, Kevin Frankie, and a lot of us are wondering, I mean, is he a part of this? Does he condemn this? Is he condoning this? Why were they separated and all that? Those are kind of pieces of questions I know that are floating all over the internet streets right now, and yet we still haven't gotten any answers on that. But one thing we do have is some more insight, because I feel like this article talks about, oh, the husband being seen, but there's a lot more going on in this article than him just walking in and out and grabbing things from the house. Now we are looking into more on how the neighbors saw how these kids were being treated, especially during some hot summer days. Let's take a look at this. This is absolutely crazy. But there, of course, is a little bit about the husband being seen walking in and out. And this is after the arrest, after these kids were taken into safety, because clearly these kids were in very bad conditions, for lack of a better term. I got to use these code words, unfortunately. But again, some pretty wild stuff. Let's look at this really quick. Like I said, I'm going to be hopping through this article because we know a lot of this already. But let's start at the top. The husband of Mormon YouTuber, who was arrested earlier this week on suspicion of, and I can't even say these things, but doing some terrible things to 6 of her children, was seen pacing around the Utah family home on Saturday as neighbors spoke out about their fears for their children's safety. Now, we already know that Ruby Frankie was recently arrested and all that, which is still, shocking to say the least. It shook not only just the YouTube and social media world, it's shocked the world. There was a lot of people that followed Ruby Frankie and her family on that YouTube channel called 8 Passengers. It garnered upwards of 2.2 million subscribers on YouTube. She was making millions of doll hairs, okay? She was making a lot of monies, for lack of a better term, okay? And then suddenly, I heard that there's 2 different rumors. There's 2 different things that are being said. Either she shut it down herself or YouTube shut it down, her YouTube channel. My assumption that I'm leaning on now, because from what I'm hearing through the grapevine, is that she shut down the YouTube channel herself because she couldn't handle the public ridicule. That's kind of what I'm learning right now. But let's continue on into this, okay? Ruby's husband, who she shares 6 children with, that's Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve, was seen at the property on Saturday as a man came to remove the YouTube branding from the van that's parked outside. So what I find very, very interesting is that the 8 Passengers logo, which I'm going to show you here really quick. Like I said, we're going to be hopping around here, but there was the 8 Passengers logo that was on the back of the van. Now, I want to say this. The YouTube channel has been terminated for a while now, and they still hadn't taken that down. That's kind of weird, don't you think? You'd think that if you're moving on and you're shutting down that YouTube channel, like you're done, it's donezo, that you're moving on, finding something better to do, or you're pushing this new brand connections with your business partner, Jody Hildebrandt. You'd think that you would take that stuff off by now. It's been a while since the YouTube channel was removed. So why still have that? But you can see now it's been removed. And of course, now they got to take it down. Like, so you see the guy who's over there with a heat gun. He's removing the sticker from the actual van. So this is what it looks like now, but and they're doing this. They were just recently doing this. So it does make you wonder, why were they suddenly doing that right now? I mean, I know why they're doing it right now, but I'm just saying, why didn't they do this way ahead of time when they shut the whole thing down, right? But now, because of all the ridicule, now because of all the people, everybody looking at them and knowing about 8 passengers, now they got to cover their tracks in a way so that they can drive that van without any type of vitriol being thrown their way while they're just driving down the street to go to a local supermarket or something like that. I got some more information here, and this is from the same article, but it tells us a little bit more from the neighbor's perspective, seeing what these children had to go through from what they saw. And I'm telling you, this stuff is absolutely crazy to me. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Daily Mail spoke to one of Hildebrandt's neighbors, whose home is also in this community. All right. So they recalled seeing Frankie's 8-passenger van regularly parked in front of the home at the time. This person said, one thing we noticed, and we told police the same thing, 6 to 8 weeks ago, when it was really hot, I was outside in the late morning, afternoon, pulling weeds, and over at Jody's home, several kids were also outside her home pulling weeds. Over the course of the day, the temperature was over 100 degrees, and I gave up after a while because it was so hot. But I noticed that those kids stayed out there. That's what one neighbor said. Now, this screams unfit, in my personal opinion. I want you guys to remember there's a little kid. I haven't talked about this yet, but there's a little kid by the name of Joshua Robinson. He was 12 years old. He was getting punished by his gym teacher because he forgot his gym clothes or the proper attire to wear at the gym. So the teacher punished him by running outside in sweltering heat above 100 plus degrees. And that young kid, that 12-year-old kid, passed away. Now imagine the same type of situation going on where you got kids pulling weeds outside of this house in this type of weather. You got a neighbor that couldn't even handle the heat. You're telling me the neighbor couldn't handle it, but the kids could? That's messed up to me, guys. That's really, really messed up. The resident also noted how they never heard any sounds coming from the home, such as those of children playing outside, which they thought was unusual. Yeah, that would be a really big red flag, y'all. Wouldn't you think? Huge, huge red flag. You're not hearing any kids, but you know that there's kids out there. The other thing I want to point out is that this neighbor said that they saw several kids outside weeding Jody's property. I'm wondering, whose kids were they? Were they just Ruby Frankie's kids, or were there other kids involved? I mean, the way that these kids were found in the dire straits and the hurt that was inflicted upon these kids, don't you think that maybe there's something deeper going on? I'm just saying, like I said, it's like an onion that we just keep peeling back the layers, and more insanity keeps coming out. And I'm just wondering what the heck is going on here, and if there are other kids other than just Frankie's alleged kids, because they even said the kids that were rescued from Hildebrandt's home they have not confirmed if they are actually Frankie's kids or not. The only kid that we have right now that we know is of Frankie's is the one that climbed out of the window because of the dispatch that has been released out here. That's the only kid that we know. They could be other kids from other families, or they could really be Frankie's. My assumption that they are Frankie's, but at the same time, they have not confirmed that yet. But let's take a look. Let's continue here. Everyone is breathing a collective sigh of relief because we thought they were going to come out of the house with body bags. And I'm sure that's what a lot of people were saying. You got to remember, or at least a lot of the neighbors were saying. You got to remember, in my last video, there was a lot of neighbors that were calling CPS. They were calling 911. They were calling 50, basically saying something's not right. Again, you had Ruby Frankie allegedly papering up windows to block people from being able to peer inside the home to see exactly what was going on with these kids and to block whatever activities, unthinkable, monstrous activities that were happening behind those doors. Kevin Frankie is believed to have been kicked out of the home, their family home, last year. He said earlier this week that he was trying to keep his family or his children together following the arrest. Actually, I'm still sitting here and saying this man should still be arrested himself. He should be interrogated, investigated. He should be detained because he's not a part of the solution. He has been a part of the problem. Period. There are plenty of videos out here from other content creators that have been showing him saying things echoing what his wife has been saying since day one. And him actually sitting there going, no, it's okay. You know, we talked to therapists and whatnot. They said that what we were doing is fine. We got the green light. They got the green light on that stuff, guys. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So he's not a part of the solution. He is most definitely part of the problem. I am really angry because I spoke up. Other people spoke up and nothing happened. Another female neighbor said that, explained that. Continuing, I want those kids to know that the community loves them and wants them to be safe. If people knew the amount of tears and time spent talking with law enforcement and CPS over the last year, I want people to understand that. And I want those kids to know that because I think they thought they were being abandoned. But here's the thing, guys. This father is now going in there, taking stuff. God knows what he's taking. Let's not forget that. We don't know what he's taking. He could be taking a whole bunch of stuff that could incriminate them, trying to hide those things. To me, when you got somebody with a heat gun taking down the sign off the van, yes, clearly that is to me that clearly says that they're trying to cover up, they're trying to hide in plain sight in a way so that they can dodge public ridicule in some sort of way, because eventually somebody's going to drive that car. Somebody from the fame is going to drive that car, and it's probably going to be him because he's got to drive these kids around, right? But again, I'm very frustrated because you got neighbors that were speaking out for a long time. And apparently, even one of the daughters, Shari, was speaking out as well for a long time. I know that we talked about it in live, but even during that live, she spoke out and was like, finally, we've been trying to get law enforcement to know what was going on for a long time. It's frustrating that there's been so much that's gone on, so many strange things that even neighbors saw it. You know that they were up to no good when you got neighbors who are all tunnel vision. They're all busy living their lives, doing their own personal rat race. Everyone's trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. For them to stop in their tracks in the middle of their own personal timelines, in their own personal narratives, to look up and look over and see these kids, and they say several of them, out in the sweltering heat, 100+ degrees outside, weeding outside, or just the strange goings-ons in the house, papering windows and all that. And for them to stop like that, stop dead in the tracks in their own private Idaho, says a lot. Says a whole lot. It takes a lot for a neighbor to do some things, okay, in your neighborhood, for you to suddenly look at that house. And it's not only just one neighbor. It's several of them, y'all. Several of them. I know I just smashed those words into one word, but you know what I'm saying. That's insane. Why did it take so doggone long for law enforcement to step up and do anything about this? It's pretty wild. We're going to be going into more of this conversation this afternoon, probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So be sure to tune in. I got a lot of catch up. There's so many other stories that have been going on and popping off here. So I'm going to give you guys some more information on some other stories as well here just in just a short while. But please be sure to tune in around 1 o'clock. I will be live to talk more on this Frankie situation, this 8 passengers situation, because it's getting crazier, y'all. It's definitely getting crazier. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button down below. And let's not forget to crush that subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube and if you're watching on Facebook, crush that follow button, please, and thank you. Again, it'd be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.